Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because we are going to set off on a really fascinating, kind of metaphorical journey together. We're going to completely redefine the modern concept of hard work. I mean, think about it. We live in a world that constantly tells us to just hustle harder, right? To push through the pain and to essentially sacrifice our well-being on the altar of productivity. But what if the very foundation of how we view hard work is totally flawed? What if the way we're currently building our careers is literally designed to collapse? Today, we are looking at the architecture of sustainable success, and we're going to unpack some truly profound insights that will fundamentally change how you approach your daily grind.
Okay, let's dive into this. To frame our exploration today, we're drawing on a brilliant piece of source material called the Craftsman's Creed, and it opens with this beautifully simple yet profoundly deep interaction. A young, super eager employee walks up to a wise, old craftsman and asks him a question that I think pretty much all of us have pondered at some point. What is the secret of working hard? The old man just smiles. And his response? He says, first, stop trying to work hard. Now you can imagine the young man looked completely confused. And honestly, it sounds totally counterintuitive to us too. I mean, stop trying? But as you'll see, the craftsman isn't advocating for laziness here. Not at all. He is about to teach an absolute masterclass on sustainability.
Section 1. The myth of hard work, breaking the illusion.
So we really need to shift our perspective here, moving entirely away from this deeply ingrained idea that just adding more pressure, more hours, and more stress automatically equals better output. It's an illusion, and honestly, it's a dangerous one. To explain this, the old craftsman points to an old horse carrying an impossible load. Obviously, if you keep loading a beast of burden with more and more weight, eventually it just stops moving completely. Now compare that to the modern professional. We aren't carrying physical sacks of grain, but we carry this endless stack of laptops, overflowing documents, constantly buzzing phones, and just an ever-growing mountain of responsibilities. We load ourselves up until our internal creativity meter completely falls flat. The craftsman's point here is sharp and undeniable. Harder is definitely not always better. Eventually, you just break down and stop moving.
The craftsman then issues this absolutely vital warning about the mind-body connection, beautifully laid out in these 4 steps. He points to himself and says, people are no different. You simply cannot stay productive for your whole life relying solely on your mind while totally ignoring the physical vessel that's carrying it around. Step 1, your body becomes weak from neglect and overwork. Think of that young professional, the one working late every single night. Step 2, the physical pain begins. That stiff neck, that lower backache we all know too well. Step 3 is where the real damage to your work actually happens, though. Your mind now has to spend its precious, limited energy actively fighting that physical discomfort. And finally, step 4. Because your energy is diverted to fighting the pain, your value creation drastically drops, it plummets. Productivity absolutely has to begin with health. Moving right along to Section 2, Protecting Your Attention, the Thieves of Time.
Now that we've addressed our internal physical limits, the narrative really shifts. We need to identify the external obstacles lurking in our modern workplaces that drain our productivity and literally steal our energy. Think about your own day for a second. Are you surrounded by people speaking only to fill the silence with empty buzzwords? Are you trapped in these endless meetings where the clock is just spinning, yet they produce absolutely nothing but tired cliches? Are you having conversations that leave you feeling totally empty instead of, a little bit wiser? If your workplace looks anything like this, hear me clearly on this. Your time is actively being stolen from you right now.
Protect your attention. It is your most valuable asset. Let's just slow down for a second and let that core thesis really sink in. Your attention is finite, it's a limited resource. When the young man asks if he should just push through and work harder despite all these distractions, the craftsman actually laughs and says, no, good work requires good conditions. It is not just on you. Your manager should be actively removing these obstacles. Your colleagues should be cooperating, not draining you. The organization itself absolutely must support productivity. You have to fiercely guard your focus, and part of that means speaking up and asking for what you need to create actual conditions for success.
Which brings us to Section 3, Choosing Your Stress, the Stone Bag.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this fascinating allegory in the source material, dealing with the internal drains on our energy that we voluntarily take on. The old man picks up a stone and tells the young worker, you cannot carry every stone you find. Think about the stones we willingly stuff into our own bags every single day. Deadlines? Sure, but what about office politics? The endless doom scrolling on social media? The opinions of people who frankly don't matter? The crushing expectations of everyone around us? We are consciously choosing to carry these. The craftsman's lesson here is profound. You have to choose which problems actually deserve your energy.
You have to evaluate your own curated stress. Not every issue deserves your worry. Not every battle deserves your attention. I want you to ask yourself, are you fighting battles right now that literally won't matter in a week? Are you worrying about issues you have absolutely zero control over? Drop those stones. Just leave them on the ground. Your energy is a limited currency, guys, so stop spending it on rocks that just weigh you down.
All right, Section 4. The power of no, your protective shield.
This brings us to a pivotal shift in the craftsman's teachings. He introduces a single, incredibly powerful, two-letter word that can literally save years of your life. That word is no. So many of us, and I am definitely guilty of this too, have this toxic habit of saying yes to absolutely everything simply because we are terrified of disappointing others. The craftsman calls this unnecessary yes, a direct tax on your future. Every single time you say yes out of fear, you are mortgaging your future time and your future energy. But contrast that with the thoughtful no. The craftsman views no as a protective shield. Wise people use it when necessary because a thoughtful no creates space. It clears your calendar. It actively protects your family time. Every single time you say a boundary-setting no, a new door actually opens for something way more valuable.
And finally, Section 5. Knowing your worth, the crossroads.
In the story, the sun is setting at this point, and the old man is preparing to share his final lesson. It's all about empowering you to take actionable, unshakable ownership of your own limits. You absolutely need to internalize these 3 points because nobody else is going to do this for you. Nobody is going to protect your family time for you. Nobody is going to manage your work-life balance for you, and nobody is going to tell your story for you. The organization's goal is just to get work done. It is your job to define your own limits. If you don't draw the line yourself, the line simply won't exist, and the machine will just keep taking.
The young man then asks a very real, very painful question. What if my work is never appreciated? The craftsman offers a highly practical 3-step procedure for handling an unappreciated environment. Step 1, speak. If your effort receives neither fair reward nor sincere recognition, you have to speak up. Ask for what you need. Step 2, wait. Give them a reasonable amount of time to actually make a change. But step 3 is absolutely crucial. Leave. If nothing changes, you walk away. Knowing when to walk away isn't quitting. It's a profound sign of knowing your worth. The opportunity that truly belongs to you might just be waiting somewhere else entirely.
And this brilliantly illustrates the final crossroads that the worker is left standing at. You are standing here, right now. On one path, we have pure exhaustion. It's the path of the overloaded horse, the path of the unnecessary yes, the path of carrying every single stone. On the other path, we have health, family, and meaningful work. You have to ask yourself, which path are you currently walking down? Because every single day, through the boundaries you set or fail to set, you are actively choosing one of these 2 directions.
The craftsman then stands up and leaves the young man with these closing words. Work hard, but don't become a beast of burden. Work wisely, protect your health, defend your time, and know your worth. That is how you work for a lifetime. You see, it's not about avoiding hard work at all. It's about redefining it so that it's sustainable for decades, rather than just treating it like a frantic sprint that leaves you broken at the finish line. So I leave you with this final thought to reflect on today as you head back into your own professional life. Look at the foundation you are laying right now. Are you truly building sustainable success, or are you just carrying more stones? The choice and the entire architecture of your future is completely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this helps you reclaim your boundaries and your energy. Have a great one.